Welcome to the Dealmakers Coffee Break. I'm Asaf Raz. Let's go. So welcome to another episode of the Dealmakers Coffee Break edition. And today I have Tammy Sutton, one of my favorite guests, because in the last season, I had two people from Quattro Capital. So it was Kim Wendland and Chad Sutton as well, which you guys are connected. You can tell me how. And Quattro is one of my favorite investment firms in America right now, just because of how they're structuring their business and what comes behind it with the value and everything. So I'm blabbering around. Tammy, please take it away. Tell us about yourself. Tell us about Quattro, and we'll take it from there.
Well, great. Okay, so the biggest question we always get, and it's always fun, is Chad A, my brother, B, my husband, or C, my son? And so we usually kind of take a fun little poll of what everybody thinks. But actually, he is my son. And he and my sister, Kim, the three of us make up the I guess you might say, the kinship, the blood family side of it. But, pretty much we're all a big, huge Quattro family. We've adopted Mo and Aaron right into things. But no, I was actually the last person to join Quattro. So the joke is I'm the reason Quattro equals Cinco. So,
Funny. That's funny. That's why Quattro equals Cinco. I like it. You guys are so great. You guys are so great. I can't state enough how much I love your message and what you bring to the world. And you have this sentence on LinkedIn: I help others invest in real estate to generate passive income. Please take me through that process. Explain it to me.
Okay, so basically what we do, is we pretty much rebel against everything you were taught in school. Go to school, get a job, work from the time you're, a late teenager all the way till you're 65, and then you can start enjoying life. And you're going to stay with one company, or you're just going to keep moving jobs, but that's what you're going to do for 47 years. It doesn't really work that way. That is not the American dream. I literally say it's the American lie. And I know that's harsh, but that's just not how you're able to reach that quote American dream of freedom. You've got to have multiple lanes of income. And I kid you not, I learned this in my 50s. And I've just kicked myself of why didn't I learn this earlier? And now I know it's not taught anywhere. Okay. What you need to do is, yes, you get a job. Yes, be a productive member of society. That is a good thing to do. But use that job as a tool to place money elsewhere and design your life the way you want to. And to do that, that means invest it in a hard asset that's going to be protected, and it's going to hedge against inflation and taxes and all that business that keeps you trapped in a 9-to-5 job. Mm-hmm. So what we do is we take multifamily real estate right now is our niche. Mm-hmm. And we have you invest with us, and we double your money in 3 to 5 business years. So it's great. And while you're over here working, we're making your money work for you. And that is how you end up reaching your goals.
I love that. I love that that pitch. I love that pitch. I'm ready for where do I write the chance?
Let's talk after this call.
So tell me something. And this could be a real question. How does a teacher, right? From how does it name? Murfreesboro.
Yes.
Murfreesboro,
Tennessee. Yeah, Murfreesboro. You got it.
14 years of being a teacher. Please take me through the process. How did you get to where you are today? What were the moves that you made? What are some learnings that we can take from what you've done? I've seen you've been also a real estate investor yourself, and today you are a real estate investor as well in Quattro. Through that history.
Okay, so many moons ago, I would tell my sister, "You're not the boss of me. You can't tell me what to do." Well, I finally learned to listen to my sister Kim. Okay, it took 50 years, but I absolutely loved teaching. I really did. But as many teachers will tell you, it's an exhausting place to be. And the last few years that I was in the classroom, the politics of teaching was really starting to wear me down, and I didn't recognize that. And I did. I felt trapped. I was like, this is what I've got to do until I'm at least got 30 years and da-da-da. And my sister was like, hey, I think I know how to get you out of teaching. I was like, no, you don't. Come on, hush. And she starts telling me, look, I really want you to come work with me. There's a lot of things that you can do remotely with single family business, which will free me up to go explore this multifamily thing I'm talking about with Chad. And I gave her 100 reasons of why that is not a good idea. My husband would not go for it. Da-da-da. She had a response to every single debate I had. And the biggest one was like, Harry will never go for this. And she was like, oh yeah, he's already agreed. So I was like, wait a minute, this is like an intervention. So literally, I came home and put in my resignation, and come January was jumping on the real estate train. And, in my position, I was very blessed because my husband was like, hey, no, I got you. We've got all the bills covered. Let's explore this and see what this does. I kid you not, it was the best move I ever made. And, since then, I would sit there on the calls with my sister as I'm learning the single family business and what I could do to help there. And I'm realizing, Chad would ping in. He was like, that's just mom. Hang on. I got to talk to you, Kim. And so I was listening. I really was starting to get FOMO because, hey, this multi-family thing that y'all got going sounds really, really interesting. And I had this limited mindset of the most I had to give was really helping him with the administrative side of the single family. Mm-hmm. But the more I talked, the more I realized, I'm really good at herding cats. And I'm really good, being a teacher. You can corral kids, you can meet deadlines, you can coordinate things, da-da-da. And the more I started to talk to her, the more I realized I really could position myself as an asset to Quattro and help out as well. And they took a leap of faith on me and basically created an entire new lane that allowed them to go and excel at what they did best and allowed me to jump in and handle the transitions and operation sides of things, which helped the company to be able to scale quicker. I basically focus on transitions and operations. I am the girl in the background. I am not a client relation. I mean, I dabble a little bit in it. Basically, I support their lane, but basically where I jump in and my lane takes hold is once that PSA is signed, okay, and the lender, and Chad has got the lender relationship set, that is where I jump in and pretty much take the lead on the closing coordination. And I walk that asset from being a deal in the acquisition side. I'll walk it all the way through the closing process, the takeover, the investor equity reconciliation and compliance, that cost check analysis, all those things that have to happen. And then I hopefully have tied it up with a nice little bow, and then I hand it over to asset management where Kim is.
I'd like to hear something. So you're saying I'm the girl in the background, right?
Yes.
And no one really knows what the people in the background actually do, but they're usually the most interesting stories, right? They're usually the most interesting things that happen. So because it's like the person who's in the background and he's moving light, whatever, but if he wouldn't do that, nothing would happen. So take me through some of the challenges that you're facing on your day-to-day job. Like, what are you facing? What are the challenges you're facing with Quattro when it comes to taking it all the way from PSA to asset management?
One of the hardest things to do right now is keeping your eye on everything because there are so many moving parts to a close. Okay. You've got to keep the the investor equity reconciled the whole time. Like it's a moving piece and it's constantly moving. One of the hardest things that we have found is making sure the way they come into the portal is the right profile. They sign the document and that matches their profile. The W-9 that they fill out for taxes matches those. The amount of money they put in the bank matches what's on their documents. Their K-1 matches all of that, making sure, because there's a lot of people, right? And so all of that, one person that is not in sync with all of their documents can literally hold up the entire group getting their K-1 return. So that is a constant issue. And that happens like all the time. You're working on that all the time. But when you have a close going forward and you have multiple GP partners, okay, that can be where I get the term herding cats. Okay. I do believe the biggest one that we had, so there's 5 GP partners. Then we co-GP'd with 2 others. So there's 7. In addition to that, we had 7 PIC members. So that was a huge set. And then everybody's got to get these documents signed all at the same time. I've got people across the country. I've got people out of state. I've got people in different time zones, and I've got to get everything done by 5 o'clock Central, before the wire goes out. So you're constantly gathering all of this stuff and coordinating everything and making sure everything is tied to a T. The documents are correct. It can be overwhelming. It can. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Because, so really just the coordination. But what we're battling right now is it's not a seller's market. It's not a buyer's market. It is truly a lender's market. And, a PTSD story real quick. 10 days before close, the lender decided to cut us at the Achilles heel.
Wow.
10 days before. We were literally, I wouldn't even say 1 yard line. I'd say half a yard line from close. Wow. And what Quattro does best is handle adversity. And we got that thing closed in 2.5 weeks. It was a pivot to one of the best lenders. Talk about silver linings. It was one of the best lenders we have found that we pivoted to. And, so, when you have to close something twice, it was pretty rough. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. So really the lender is saying right now, it's your biggest investor. You've got to, it's up to me and my lane to keep everything moving forward so that the lender keeps their eye on the closing date, but they're your biggest investor, but right now they're our biggest hurdle.
So I've never heard that term. This is I talk about buyer's market, seller's market. You're talking about the lender market, which I love. It's actually so true. They have the most control in the market right now, but we know how powers kind of shift and change throughout time. And I think we'll see. I remember last year it was no one wanted to sell. It was so hard to buy properties, right? And now we're looking at completely different things. Change all the time. I think that when you talked about the operational aspect of running those deals, I think running those deals or running the syndications or running those partnerships, I feel like it is an underestimated, very complicated part of actually managing and running real estate deals. And people don't really understand that. You know where I work, where I come from. I understand operational efficiency. I understand the challenges of everyday mundane back office work. It's very, very challenging. And I feel like it's not only having the right tools. So things that are similar, right? Agora, it's right behind me. We know what Agora does, but things that are similar to Agora could help you do that. But eventually, at the end of the day, there is someone that is holding the strings and holding everything together and making sure that the lenders still there, and the investors are still there, and the deal is still there, and no one's running away. Because like this, and always trying to keep it within the lane, within the limits.
Right.
And I feel like, and when we talked about being in the back, right? This is a heroic role within real estate deals, and people don't
You
really
just
understand.
made my day. Made my day.
I just know how hard it is. I know it's so many moving pieces and elements, and I feel like people underestimate that. People that are even new to the business and kind of going into running real estate deals, even people that have been in the business for a very long time, could encounter these things.
I will say this: it's the lane, it's the role that is not taught. It's not talked about.
No,
it is, and that's why I'm really trying to start to push it out there a little bit and help coach others on what I do, because it is truly not out there. Everybody talks about, hey, come to this conference, we're really going to talk about equity rating, we're really going to talk about structuring deals, or, hey, let's talk about asset management. But there's no one out there talking about all that happens in the background. And so I really have tried to find my voice so I can help others, because honestly, and we've grown, the way we close a deal now is not the way we closed it back in 2019. We've matured, we've grown, we've got this well-oiled machine now, but you learn from your mistakes. But if I can help others get ahead and not make some of the mistakes we made, and get it out there and talk about it more, about what we do, I think that's my way of giving back, of helping others learn. Because truly it was, you've got a creative teacher that taught 5th and 6th grade free algebra. Trust me, I did not come into this with a business mind. There was so much for me to learn, but now that I know it, if I can truly help others learn about what I do and help coach them to be able to run their operational side more efficiently, I feel like I'm making multifamily a better place.
There we go. And obviously, you can find Tammy Sutton on LinkedIn, and I'm sure that with your energy, you'd be happy if someone reaches out to learn a little bit more and get some coaching from you.
Absolutely.
And with that, we're moving. So we're keeping what we call the 20-minute rule. So we're always keeping the episodes 15 to 20. So people is easy for them to digest, but we always have what we call the shameless plug, which is where you very shamelessly talk. Oh, show me that.
My impeccable, there's my mug.
So cool. This is so cool. I love it. This is so cool. I didn't know you get it. This is so great.
Yes, I did. I got it.
This is great. So the shameless plug is your time to very shamelessly talk about what Quattro is doing today. What are you focused on? What are you looking for? Right? If you're looking for more investors, you're looking for more deals, whatever you're looking for, this is the time to do that. Feel free to give any information you want. This is your time.
Wow. Okay. So Quattro is always looking to level up. We're always looking for the next great deal and the next great product. I know that we are about to launch something new and exciting, and I am not going to give that away, but I will say follow us. You'll find out soon enough. And one thing we are always working on is the philanthropic side. We always put our 4 core pillars are people, property, profit, and most definitely dear to our hearts is we're always looking where to place our philanthropic attention.
I love that. So if anyone is interested in joining Quattro in something philanthropic and helping back the communities that they are, they're helping also, obviously,
Yes.
You can reach out to Tammy or anyone in the Quattro team. That was perfect, Tammy. Thank you so much for coming to this episode. I really appreciate the time. It was so much fun. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next episode of The Dealmakers. Thank you for joining us. Check out more episodes on the Dealmakers podcast, available on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts, and Agora's website at agorareal.com/podcast. See you in the next episode.